Now who want 'em, who crossing on? Now who want 'em, who got 'em? If you got stripes, then you let the city know you rock 'em. Yeah, we got 'em, yeah, we fought 'em. Like that black and orange up on 'em. Single bottle, never stop it. So the feastin' on 'em. Who they rockin' with the diamond stripes? Flossin' on the ring. Cincinnati, she's our queen. We gon' show the world who king. Orange in the day, black in the night. Stripes in our veins, sparks gonna fly. The beast is awake, orange, black, and white. Cause when the jungle come alive, who they we ignite in the...
Oh, we don't give a damn for the whole state of Michigan. Any of them?
Oh, yeah. Except I was born there, Dale.
That's true. All right.
I was born in Michigan.
We care about pork chops. So.
Kalamazoo.
It was duck hunting season yesterday.
You know what? I fucking passed a guy on 50 and he had a like a skiff with all kind of like camouflage, like brush and shit in. I bet he was going duck hunting, wasn't he? It reminded me of Derek. I saw a fucking boat with camouflage and instantly I thought about Derek.
Yeah. I asked Ryan if he wanted to come on, but he is at cheerleading practice, so I'm sure he is loving life with a bunch of 8-year-olds.
Fifth layer of hell.
Woo. Yes, buddy. Prayers up for Ryan.
Not only that, but that shit's expensive as fuck, man. Putting your kid in cheer.
Facts.
Oh my God.
It only gets more expensive too. Like, man, I remember Miley when she did it in 7th grade. It was outrageous for all the stuff they bought and stuff. It's just like it's too much. But
yeah,
we are also joined. It's Dale and Pork Chop, your regularly scheduled Bengals and Brews guys.
Right.
It's a little different episode. We're coming on Thursday. We'll be back. But the CEO is in the house because we're going to talk a little college football. We're going to talk draft prospects. We're also keeping an eye on the Notre Dame-Georgia game, which was delayed a day. So I guess we'll start there. Just prayers up for everybody. Shit. It's just, man, this country, it's weird right now. We don't talk a lot of politics, but my heart goes out to the victims, man. You're on Bourbon Street enjoying New Year's. Like, come on. It's senseless and it's crazy. And, man, that shit is depressing, but my heart goes out to all those families. I know to speak on it from like a draft thing. I know one guy, Jack Besh from TCU, that used to play for your LSU Tigers, Chop, and then he transferred to TCU. His brother was one of the guys that died, and he went to Princeton. I think he might have played there with Yoshi.
Yeah, that's what I saw. Somebody that went to that was a teammate of Yoshi's died. It's fucking horrible, man. There's women, children. It's fucking, I don't understand it, but there's fucking, I work in psych emergency, so there's just people that aren't right.
Yeah.
It's a horrible world to bring your kids up in, and I got 5 of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I feel like it's hard to like mention even that game that we're keeping an eye on and there without at least mentioning it. So, and we're not going to get political about it or anything, but just wanted to at least mention,
right.
The thoughts and prayers with everybody.
Yeah, thoughts and prayers. And, just having this game today, it kind of shows like the power of sports. Like there's a little element of like, some healing here, like probably a strange energy going into the stadium today for those fans.
Yeah.
They've been fully engaged. So, it's nice. Like, obviously, it's just freaking tragic and all that, but it's nice to have like some sports to rally around. And I know like, I'm sure a lot of fans traveled into New Orleans. I couldn't even imagine just like the anxiety they've been living with for the last like 48 hours. So glad everybody's safe today and been able to get into the stadium and enjoy a pretty okay football game so far.
Defenses, man. I guess we'll start there. It's never easy to switch gears from something like that, but with the Notre Dame Georgia game, since it's currently going on, Notre Dame's up 23-10. Yep. Georgia has the ball, 2nd and 10. What's showing on my ESPN app. I do not have a TV up, but Chop does. I think Dustin does. So these guys might update if there's a big play, like a lot quicker than I see it down here.
Georgia's in the red zone right now.
Yeah, and they need it. They need a touchdown here. Under 11 minutes.
They don't. Fuck Georgia.
Well, and I picked Notre Dame, so
I'm not a Notre Dame fan. I'm just a hate Georgia fan.
Yeah, our guy Will that pops in here. He's fully engaged in that game right now, but he's a Notre Dame fan. So do it for Will, baby.
Somebody got hurt Notre Dame.
it's I'm gonna call it Cash Jones anytime touchdown. He always like makes plays in the red zone.
Didn't he have the touchdown?
He did
for
one
them? Is that
already.
the guy that had
Cash
one
Jones got
already
the last touchdown.
He'll probably get this one.
Yeah. They always find a way to sneak him out of the backfield.
I'm telling you, he wasn't red zone. They weren't in the red zone that time though, because it looked like a pretty long pass, and then he had to dive for it. It was a good looking play. I also fuck Georgia.
They've won enough recently, you know. Come on now. You had 2 not too long ago, so just stop being greedy.
Right.
You don't need it.
With fucking Stetson Bennett.
Oh yeah, that guy. But I like Ryan says Bengals safety Xavier Watts. So I mean, a guy that we've talked about as a prospect, man, he's making it tough for me not to just move him up to that fringe first round range. So what are your thoughts on him, Dustin, as a prospect? I mean, he's a good ball hawk, but he's a solid tackler too. He just flies around the football field. And I mean, there's not a lot of weaknesses to his game. And he was a guy a lot of people were high on with Malachi Starks, and then he just kind of, I don't know, Nicky Monwarier from where's he from? Where's he from? Why am I drawing a blank?
Yeah, I'm drawing
a blank. They just played. South Carolina?
Texas? No,
I think he's South Carolina. But yeah, there's Andrew Makuba from Texas.
Yeah.
But anyways, back to Xavier Watts. I think that he's a guy that, you know, is right there behind Malachi Starks. And you never know how high the first safety is going to go, who's also in this game, Malachi Starks for Georgia. But South Carolina, Ryan, thank you. He opted out at halftime of that game, which was super weird the other day in their bowl game. But so Xavier Watts, thoughts on him, and if you want to talk Malachi Starks too, both of them safeties. And Chop, if you want to chime in after, feel free.
Yeah, right. Just so everybody knows, I don't know shit about the draft, man. I learned it all in the draft guide from Dale, and as we get close to the draft.
He's eye candy.
I said I could be on here not only for the eye candy, because yes, I'm an attractive man. Put your dick away, but also like I could be the regular fan that doesn't know shit about the draft. Like, who the fuck is that? What do they do? Why are they special? What team?
Well, listen to Dustin. Listen to Dustin tell you about Xavier Watts.
I mean, there's a reason he's the boss. Go ahead, Dustin.
No, I mean,
sorry to interrupt you, sir.
When you look at like, it's kind of like if we're looking at this as like a projection to the Bengals, I love the idea of Malachi Starks like pairing with Jordan Battle, you know, because Jordan Battle likes to get dirty in the run game. And I think it's such a huge advantage in today's NFL if you do have a safety that you can leverage him in coverage, because that way you don't have to play as much like two shell. Like you can just put them on a tight end. And, you know, obviously over the years, the Bengals have problems with tight ends. So to be able to like pair him with a Battle is very intriguing. I think, you know, Xavier Watts has a similar skill set. I think like I like Malachi Stark's technique and coverage a little bit better over Watts, but as far as like just kind of policing the back end and kind of running around and making plays, that's really intriguing to me too. I just kind of think like projecting, and whatever happens like with Lou in the future, projecting to this defense, I do think he likes versatile guys, and I could see them like favoring Starks because of his versatility. Because I think when he came to Georgia, did he play corner first?
I'm not sure.
Yeah.
That's a good question. I think he played early, but it might have been at safety. He's probably moved around a little bit, if I'm not wrong. I think, you know, he's played the slot a little bit at times because he's such a versatile safety.
Yeah. Yeah. But then you can also say, like, what are we missing? Maybe some ball hawking.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I was going to ask. Is he a ball hawk kind of safety?
I would say Watts is more the ball hawk. Xavier is good at Malachi is good at in coverage, at getting his hands in PBUs. But I would say like from a pure like playmaking standpoint, it just like it's one of those like who do you project into the Bengals defense better? And I kind of think they would probably prefer Starks and his skill set. But I would love to see Watts too, because he's all over the place.
Well,
you know?
And the difference, Dustin, could be, you know, that Starks they're going to have to probably take in the first round. Watts may still be around that they're picking the second. That could be the difference.
He must be good, be first round safety, man.
He is.
I mean, historically, there's not too many safeties go first round, right?
No, you got to be really high end.
But Dustin and I was talking about this on the phone last night. It's like even the Kyle Hamiltons, they fall. Like they're even the ones that are like, I'm a top 10 talent. They seem to fall. Derwin James fell to like 16th overall. Kyle Hamilton like 14th overall, and they were considered top 5, top 10 guys, kind of like Stark. So with us winning some games here and moving back to like pick 16, it could be a viable option to me. Would you guys agree?
Yeah.
It's not the pick I want, but we're not talking about the Bengals necessarily. I don't want a safety in the first round, I don't care how good the guy is, but
yeah, when you're at 16, it's kind of like you're getting into that, like, kind of out of that, like, the blue chip talents starting to be like swept up a little bit, and it's like probably a little bit less about positional value, and that's why it's like
BPA. You almost BPA when you're around that pick.
Yeah, like Lions took Jahmyr Gibbs, like in that, probably, I forget where he went, but it was, kind of outside of the top 10. So at that point it is like BPA, and at that point it's like, is he? I would think at that position, Stark's probably, I would think he would be BPA for sure.
Now, as this game continues, that is on Georgia turnover on downs, down 23-10. So if Notre Dame that's 3rd and 3. If Notre Dame could get a first down here with 8 minutes and 30 seconds on the clock, Georgia's going to have a tough time getting it back. But if they get a stop here, it's still, you might get good field position because they are at like the Notre Dame 16 right now. So Georgia's not out of this game, but Notre Dame, good defense, man. They step up. But as a Buckeye fan, Andrew Wood said, if Caleb Downs was eligible, he will not be in the draft till at least the following year. He is only a true sophomore, balled out at Alabama, balling out for Ohio State. Obviously, I'm a Buckeye fan, but Caleb Downs is a special prospect. As we're talking safeties, we'll try to go back to each game and in-depth more, but we'll at least mention Caleb Downs is like, if he was in this draft and he was there and we're picking 16th, which is our spot right now, I'm running to the podium.
And he plays for Ohio?
Ohio State.
Well, okay, not the Bobcats.
Ohio State.
If you just say Ohio, it's Joe Burrow, the Bobcats.
Joe Burrow's dad.
Joe Burrow's dad? Okay.
I saw Ryan mentioned Hunter from Wisconsin. I like him a lot too. He every time I watch Wisconsin, he was running around making plays. So I don't know. That could be a guy, like, I don't know where you have him, Dale, but he intrigues me too.
Definitely day 3 for me. I don't think he's the greatest in coverage, but like you said, he flies around. He makes a lot of tackles. And a lot of these guys I'm going to watch more of, throughout this process. So he's definitely one of them. I think he's a Senior Bowl guy. I could be wrong on that, but I think he is, and that'll be a big week for him. So if he has a good week there, that'll be huge for him. Yeah,
that'll be a chance to, because his coverage is probably this area of weakness. They isolate a lot of the safeties and one-on-ones in the Senior Bowl to help them shine or work on that. So it would be interesting to keep an eye on that for sure. But
what's the biggest statistic that we look at for safeties coming into the NFL for draft? What's the best statistics?
Or like the best quality in a safety, even
for that position.
I mean,
is it coverage? Is it ball hawking? Is it like run defense? What would be the best?
You really need a guy that can do it all as safety. Honestly, you do. Like, I know that's almost a cop-out answer. For me, personally, and what the Bengals need, I think they need a guy that can cover.
Yeah.
And that's why, and that's why Dustin, I think, was leaning for Starks. Like, Watts comes up with the plays, but Stark, the reason he's a little higher in general is he can almost cover you like a corner. And that's something that we had with Jesse Bates. Like, Jesse Bates had that body type, that athleticism, that he could almost cover like a corner in the back end. So I think for the Bengals and what they need, already having Jordan Battle, I think give me a guy like that personally for the Bengals. But I'm not saying Xavier Watts would be a bad pick either. And there's a bunch of guys I like. If you watch Latham Ransom, I don't want to sit here and hammer the Buckeyes too much, but damn, he was laying the wood too. And that's another prospect. Makuba's a guy who he had to play in the box a lot at Clemson. He transferred to Texas this year, and he's shown what he can do in coverage. He got the game-sealing interception for them in the double overtime against Arizona State. So, I mean, I like this safety class. I mean, Kevin Winston Jr. from Penn State, he's a do-it-all guy, but he only played like 1 or 2 games and got injured for the season, but he's declared for the draft. So, but if you go watch his tape from the year before, amazing. Rod Moore from Michigan, he's been out all season with the ACL, but when he was coming out last year, I thought he was a second, third round guy, a day 2 guy at least. You know what I mean?
Right.
Somewhere in that range.
Is there any like really good day 3 safeties that could come in and start for a team?
You just never know. Like there's always going to be a safety that falls to day 3 because the NFL still doesn't value
right?
that. They just don't.
Right.
And Iowa, well, they have the one dude, Sebastian Castro. Yes, I have him listed at safety, but he is like a slot corner right now at Iowa. But he can give you all that. And I do think he's a safety. That's why I have him listed there in the draft guide. But the Xavier Nwankpa, he is going back to Iowa for his senior season. So he will not be in this class. He didn't have the biggest season ever. So I'm glad he's going back. I think another year will be good for him.
I like kind of keeping within the playoffs. It looks like, there's Kevin Winston starting to get a little love for Penn State. I like to see his development. I'm going to keep an eye on him in the next game as well.
Well, he's the guy that's out. They got another safety though, Jalen Reed.
Yeah, Jalen Reed.
Yeah,
Winston's out. That's right. But so keep an eye on those guys as well.
Yeah, man. And so this will to kind of go back to the games, go back to the prospects. We'll start here because it was the first game. Penn State versus Boise State. Kind of what I saw happening. Chop said, in his expert opinion, he was wrong for once when it comes to this because he's usually a college football expert.
I know.
He said Ashton Jeanty was going to run for 250. I said I could see him getting 100, but that Penn State defense is no joke. And I thought Abdul Carter was going to be a big part of it, but Abdul Carter ended up getting injured. I still don't know.
Really?
Shoulder, he didn't play. He got a holding penalty called. Made a good play there to get in the backfield. They had to hold him. But other than that, I thought they kept Jeanty in check. The quarterback actually impressed me, the Maddox kid from Boise State, a little bit in that game. There's not a ton of guys outside of Jeanty for Boise State.
Yeah.
But so ask about Tyler Warren. I'll ask he's my tight end one. Dustin, what's your thoughts on Tyler Warren, man? There's just not many guys that are 6'6", 260 with the talent that he has at tight end. I know some people said, is it blasphemy to say he's as good as Brock Bowers? Yes, they're just two different. Brock Bowers was a top 5 guy in the draft guide. I don't have Warren as that, but he's my tight end one. He's a top 20 player.
Yeah.
That's my thoughts. But
Tyler Warren, he hasn't even really played. Like his upside's huge because he hasn't even played a lot of tight end. So it's like they
had Theo Johnson last year.
What did he play before tight end?
Oh, he switched positions. Like he was recruited in as a quarterback, and then he switched. And then I think that would be the thing is the upside is so huge with him. He can do so much. He's really versatile. What you're getting, there's probably ability to obviously, I don't know, with any college tight end, it's blocking skills could always get a little bit better. He's aggressive though in blocking, which I really like. He sticks his nose in there,
and he's got the size, man. He's got the size. I've seen him I've seen him put some boys out of bounds.
Oh yeah, the last or 2 games ago or whatever.
That one, man. It's all right. There's something there with that too.
Yeah. I'm a huge fan. I think he's gonna go definitely. I don't know. I mean, where did Brock Bowers end up going last year?
Was it 16 or 14 or
12
like that?
Yeah,
Las Vegas.
I see him.
Yes, he went to. Thank you, Chop. That's why you're here.
That's what I'm here for, man. When you guys are struggling, I come in with the save.
Dude, the Raiders keep taking all the Bengals fans' love childs.
I know. I'm pretty sure they're gonna get a tight end with the first round this year too. They love tight ends out there.
Yeah.
It's going to be Tyler Warren, or it's going to be Harold Fannin in the second round because I know our guy Ryan, who's in his cheer practice with his kid and loving that. He's a big, and I like Harold Fannin too. It's just, I just think Tyler Warren is a little more of a do-it-all, but Harold Fannin, man, what he can do as a receiving kind of guy, and he's stepped it up as a blocker this year. And then as Noddy mentions there, Colston Loveland from Michigan didn't have the biggest season, but good Lord, they had some terrible quarterback play. And hey, they beat Ohio State. And as I wear this Ohio State, that's not. I think Michigan fans would agree. They're going to be happy to have the Underwood kid, I believe is his name, that recruit that's coming in that could be their starter next year. It's a true freshman. he's already on campus, and getting some work in with the team. So, but Colston Loveland still had a solid season, and I really like him too. I got him at number 2, and then I got Fannin at 3 for me as far as my tight ends.
Yeah, I'm in line with that too.
You got a big board too, Dustin?
No, not a big board. I got I definitely use Dale's draft guide. I poke around the internet, but I watch a lot of ball too, and just kind of take little notes here or there.
Yeah.
And not to, I want to get back to a little more of this, but I'll get this last one in. Arondé Gadsden from Syracuse. Yeah, he's a converted wide receiver. My only thing with him is he's like 220, but he is a matchup nightmare because he's another guy that's like 6'5", 6'6", wide receiver, pass catcher. So another guy in that similar mold is Brenning Stool, from Clemson. He's his body type almost reminds me of a Gesicki because he's like 6'6", and he's white. So
there you go.
Just that's the comparison I go to. 6'6", a little thinner, and not much of a blocker for Brenning Stool, but he's a good pass catcher. So.
Basically, Mike Gesicki.
Yeah, and I don't know how much, as far as the Bengals part of it, I don't know. We're just talking prospects in general. So I don't know how much the Bengals, I think they should re-sign Gesicki personally.
Oh, yeah. I don't think that the Bengals are going to be looking for a tight end in the draft with Eric All coming back and Mike Gesicki. I think they're going to.
You just never know with Eric All. It's a big question mark.
Exactly. I'm more concerned about injuries with Eric All than I was going into the season and knowing that he had that big injury history in college.
Yeah. So we'll kind of Penn State. Did anybody else flash to you or your thoughts just on the game in general? I thought Boise hung in there. The final score wasn't really indicative of how close that game was. Like Boise was right in that for a long time, and then just kind of Penn State pulled away. Just better team. That's kind of my thoughts. The better teams are going to end up winning these games, and Penn State had a lot better players at the end of the day. A lot more really good players.
Yeah, I mean, when you get kind of in this level now, it's like trench play. It's kind of like, well, Penn State was just swarming Genty. I mean, did you see his yards at their contact was insane still? They held him down, but he was able to make something out of nothing, which is really impressive. So I think scouts would walk away from that oh man, he was getting hit at the line of scrimmage, but still making something out of it and falling.
I thought they should have passed him the ball more. He only ended up with 3 catches, but that's something he did last year. So he had 500 and some receiving yards last year. Barely got the ball thrown his way. I know he was running the hell out of it all season, but it's he's very good pass catcher too. And I thought early in that game they were using it a little, and I'm like, all right, if they keep doing this, they're going to be in the game. And they kind of completely went away from that, and Penn State pulled away. Yeah.
I like Katron Allen a lot. It's kind of funny because Singleton came in with all the hype, the 5-star.
I got Allen as a next year guy, but both of them could go back. Both of them could come out. So I'm curious to see what they ultimately do. But Katron Allen is a big ass thumper. I don't know. It's soon, but I think the playoff teams, the more you play, more you get an extra few days. I got you. But continue with Katron Allen because and Singleton.
He's got that build that I like. It's 5'11", but it's compact 230. He doesn't, you know what I mean? He moves like a 215, 220 back. So I like him a lot. And he's ripped off some long runs. He shows some explosiveness for his size too. So
I heard that they both might go back as well. But if they win the national title, I think things could change. Sorry, Dustin, continue.
Yeah. I would say Singleton is just, I don't know. It's kind of as I watched, because I was really hyped for him coming in, and he had a good freshman season, and then it kind of he just hasn't popped over the last year. I mean, he still put up pretty good numbers. You look at his rushing average and stuff like that, it's 6.5 yards a carry. But I don't know. There's something some games where I'm just ooh, it felt like there was more there, and I just felt he was going down on contact pretty easy too. But I feel like Katron Allen's almost overtaken him in that running back room. I mean, they complement each other really well. But yeah, I mean, that's stood out to me. I mean, the entire Penn State defense was just I mean, it's pretty stellar. It sucked that Carter went out. I think he did post something to his Twitter. I think he's gonna be fine and end up playing. So it's gonna be good to see him. obviously you and I talked about him quite a bit. Like, I think he's good at like pass rush moves. He's got the burst. He's got the speed. It'll be interesting to see how at his size, how a team. I would have loved Penn State to move him around a little bit more because
he played linebacker previously.
Yeah,
this is his first year at full-time edge, and I thought that was important to show that because I think that's his future. I'd like to see that with Jalen Walker from Georgia, who's in that game. What is going on with that game, by the way? Just quick timeout.
23-10, Notre Dame. So Notre Dame had the ball 4th and 1. They had their punt team in. It was like their own 20. They ran them off, ran their offense back on, and drew Georgia offsides. And now they have the ball and they're just moving. It's 3rd and 11 with 2 minutes 40 seconds left.
Okay. Mine just now updated on the app. It was stuck at 3rd and 3 and 4 minutes and something. I'm like, is someone injured? Because nothing has changed.
Yeah.
So that's why I was curious. Somebody mentioned Danny Dennis Sutton. I think that's a guy who probably goes back to school or should, so he can be a little more dominant. And maybe he gets up there in that first round range talk. If he comes out this year, I think he's a day 2 guy.
That lineman for Notre Dame, that Coogan, was swinging on people. I mean, they didn't flag him, but the ref went over and talked to him, but it looked like somebody was on the ground. They're getting a little bit chippy.
Well, I mean, I did say it's the Catholics versus the convicts.
There you go, man.
And Georgia is losing this game, so they're not going to go out without a fight.
Georgia's offensive line is just like very disappointing this game. They're like, I think one of the first early drives they got movement and they're imposing their will, but like, yeah, they're just, and they got dudes all over that line. I was like, what the hell's going on?
Ratledge, didn't he have like a false start? And then I watched it. I'm like, man, that's a good block, good run play. And then the very next play, he just got dominated and on the rep because I like to go back and watch these guys singularly.
Yeah.
Because when I'm watching the game, I just want to enjoy the game in the moment, typically. But I was like, I'm going to watch a little Ratledge for a few plays. And that was just a few plays, like penalty, great rep. I'm excited. And then I had to retweet because I said, oh, that's a good block by Ratledge. And then I had to quote tweet my own tweet and said, and he gets beat on the very next
You're right.
play.
Yeah.
Like, full disclosure, because I do think it'd be fun to pair him back up with Mims. But if you've watched what Donovan Jackson has done, I keep wanting to jump to my Buckeyes. And all right, let's move on from the Penn State. Let's go to the next game so I can get to my Buckeyes after that. So I want to go in the order. So the next game that happened was Texas Longhorns versus Arizona State. And by far, the best game. Arizona State, early it looked like Texas was going to blow them out. And Arizona State, holy shit. Cam Skattebo. I called him Skattebo the other day. I apologize. I knew it was Skattebo. I mispronounced your name, sir. I apologize because I have to put some respect on your name. Against a Texas defense that knew you were going to run the hell out of a ball, you still would not go down.
And the dude was sick. He was on the sideline vomiting.
And he threw a touchdown. He's catching the damn ball down the field like an elite wide receiver. I mean, I said on the show the other day, it's a guy he's not a first rounder, which, I mean, Genty's the only one, in my opinion, that has a chance to go in the first round at running back. That's another positional value thing. But holy shit, I can't count him out from going on day 2 at this point. Holy shit, what a football player.
He probably definitely upped his draft stock with that game yesterday, right?
I don't know how you couldn't say he did. I mean, because that is an elite Texas team, like defensively. They have studs everywhere, which is why I picked them to win, and they did win ultimately because of that. But holy shit, Arizona State had the game won. 4th and 13, You let Matthew Golden get back, who is also a player on the rise. He will be way, way up the board if he declares. He's a guy I've kept low because I thought he'd go back to school. What he's doing right now, there's no reason for him to go back to school. He's worked his way into day 2, in my opinion. But your thoughts? We'll start with Skattebo because holy shit, Dustin, what a stud!
Such a stud. He's built like a freaking dude. His legs are just he's huge, dude, and his contact balance. Like somebody tipped me off to him when he was at Sac State. I was living out west here. Someone was like, yeah, you got to check this dude out. He's transferring to Arizona State. And then as soon as he got to Arizona State, I would be watching Pac-12 after dark. When the Pac-12 still existed, I'm like, damn, this dude is just breaking tackles, ripping off long runs. But yeah, he's He's a dude, man. He's a dude. Like, obviously, like, everybody wants to compare him to, like, all the other, like, white running backs.
Well, they were posting Christian McCaffrey graphics because it was, like, X amount of yards and X amount of receiving yards. It's like, come on now. They're totally different running backs.
Yeah, but, man, I don't know, man. I've seen a lot, like, his contact balance is, like, superior, like, supreme. Like, it's like
him and Genty, it's like they have two of the best contact balance ability that I have seen. And sheesh, what Saquon? I mean, it's a handful of guys that I've watched.
This is probably, I mean, I know Bijan was a couple years ago, and Jahmyr Gibbs. I was really excited about those dudes, but like, I don't know, this like draft class for running backs, I'm really excited about. There's a lot of dudes, and like, even for Texas, like, they're down to their third running back, and I think Wisner is like their best running back.
I got him pretty high next year on my early watch list at running back.
Oh, he's so smooth, and he's just like shifty, patient. I really like it. I think with the thing with Cam, I feel like he needs to be in a system that gets like more downhill, with him and utilizing his skill set. So I hope like he gets drafted to the right team that puts him in the right setup. Whereas I
am slurping on this man hard, but I was late on the Scatterboo train. I really was. He wasn't even in the draft guide for months, not until like damn near December. And then it's just like, holy shit, this guy's really fucking good. And the more I watch, the more I like. And it's his ability as a pass catcher too. He's a very good pass catcher, very good runner. And then it blew my mind listening to him talk today. He was on an interview with somebody, I think it might have been Dan Patrick, and he was talking about he checked. It was supposed to be the Philly special where he threw the ball back to the quarterback, to Sam Levitt. And he checked out of that to throw it to the receiver because he saw the guy guarding him and thought he could make a play.
Damn.
Like, who does? Bro, you're a running back throwing a pass and you're checking out, changing who you're going to, that in the huge moment to get back in that game. That is special. That is special football fucking IQ.
Yeah. What round is Scatterboo? Second?
I don't know, Chop. That's one, like I said, I've had him as like around a fifth round, just putting him into the draft guide. Basically, it's like, all right, I think he's a day 3 guy. And then I've kind of talked myself into, I probably got to move him up to 4th round. And then I watch what he did against Texas, and I go, shit.
Right.
It's going to be hard for me to keep him out of day 2. Like, you know, it just is.
I'll bet you somebody takes him. Plus, he's got a sweet-ass name, man. That's fucking – who don't want a Scatterboo jersey?
Yeah, I like his – yeah, he's just a Sacramento dude, too. Like, you see his dad got, like, tats on his arm.
Yeah.
His, like, scrappy.
His dad looked like he just got done fishing, drinking fucking Bush Light.
Yeah. I mean –
definitely Derek's favorite player.
Definitely Derek's favorite player.
Yeah, dudes from Sacramento are just built different. But, yeah, I'm really stoked on him.
Is there anybody? Okay, so Texas side, man, I've been Matthew Golden, who I mentioned at wide receiver. I've been very disappointed in the other wide receiver, which, hey, maybe he balls out. But Isaiah Bond, man, I thought he was a potential first-round guy. He should go back to school.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have any thoughts on him and Golden? And I mean, the Texas O-line. I am excited to watch the Texas O-line versus the Buckeyes D-line in the next round. But we'll continue with Texas right now.
Oh yeah, I'm really excited to watch that matchup. That's like, Sawyer and JTT's been, kind of getting some pressure after, I don't know, probably like somewhat disappointing careers ish, but then they're showing out in these like big games, so it's like it's gonna be great to see that matchup. But yeah, I agree with you going back to school. The Texas O-line. The funny like dynamic is almost the same with Georgia too, where it's like, why weren't they able to run the ball better yesterday? Like, what's going on? You got all this like these NFL prospects, and I don't know. It's sometimes schematically like Sark sometimes like I like his schemes, and he gets like guys open, like on that 4th and 13 and stuff like that. I mean, you got to tip your cap to Ewers for staying like calm and patient and letting him break through, because those dudes were playing the 13-yard bubble there because they knew that's all he needed, and he snuck behind them, and he just
he checked to like max protection on that play too, which to mention Quinn Ewers, because we talked quarterbacks when we were on the phone last night, and holy shit, it's not a great class. Number one, Quinn Ewers, man, he's a polarizing prospect, and I have no clue where he'll get drafted if he comes out this year, because he could go back for a bag potentially of NIL money, but I think he'll go out, especially just being in the Final Four now. And he's high IQ. He's got the arm talent. It's just, I don't know what the hell, honestly, with Quinn Ewers, why he's not more consistently better. He'll be good early in the game, good late in the game sometimes, and then in the second, third quarters, he won't do shit sometimes. It's like, or he'll throw you 3 picks. You just never know, man. The Quinn Ewers ride is something. What are your thoughts on him?
Yes, it's just, he makes throws like that and you fall in love. It's just like, what the hell? Like, why can't we get more consistency across the board? I think, like, I do feel like if he gets matched up with like a right coach in the NFL, he'll show promise. His like some of those throws like he made yesterday were like from the far hash, where he hit like a running back from the far hash. It's like, dude, that throw is incredible. And then that dime that he dropped. So, I mean, I'm like his inconsistencies. I'm a fan, but I'm also like, cautiously optimistic about him. I don't know. It's just like the inconsistency. Some of the throws are like, what the hell?
Gunnar Helm, good tight end too. He made a big touchdown.
I was going to ask you about him.
Big play. Yeah, he's a top 5 tight end for me. He might not go till the 3rd round, but him and Mason Taylor, Chop from LSU is a guy. I got them as like 4 and 5. Behind the 3.
I would fucking take Mason. I know I'm a homer. I would take Mason Taylor any fucking day. That dude can block and he can catch.
Yeah.
I'm probably not the best since you got him in the fucking 4th round, but still.
No, I think I got him in him in the 3rd. Him and Gunnar Helm both 3rd round guys. I got him over Helm.
You were saying that he's like the 4th or 5th tight end for you.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I got you.
Yeah, he's 4th overall, and it's a big 3. I love most years the top 3 would be number 1 each year. Tyler Warren, Colston Level, and Harold Fannin would easily be number 1s in most tight end classes, in my opinion. So when having a guy at 4 isn't a huge knock.
I know it's the homer in me, man, but I'd love to have fucking Mason Taylor on our team. That dude, because I don't watch all ball like you guys. I watch LSU, and that Mason Taylor has been a fucking go-to for Jaden Daniels and for Garrett Nussmeier.
Made huge plays as a true freshman.
Yeah.
Been a good player for a long time.
Good fucking NFL heritage too. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and then I don't want to go too deep on the O-line prospects, and me and Dustin talked about doing more shows where we do by position, so we'll do that for sure. And Notre Dame did win. Just I know that was mentioned in the chat, but for the podcast listeners, this is when we find out that Notre Dame pulled it out. Catholics beat the Convicts 23-10. So yeah, Notre Dame. I was 4 for 4 on my picks from the show the other day. Let's go.
You know what?
Sometimes you got to suck yourself, baby.
That's right.
The defense is stingy. Their cornerbacks are locked down. Like, I know Georgia receivers are like meh, but man,
God, they can't catch the ball, bro. There's so many drops all season.
Yeah, no, he's so like talented. It's so disappointing how he can't get it together. Okay, did you see the stat or like hear it? They had Georgia had like 86 drop balls this year. That's like
it's insane. Well, I know Arian Smith who had that deep one and almost dropped it. I know he has at least 10. He had 10 the last time I checked. In the draft guide, he had 10. I haven't updated the draft guide in a couple weeks because I do that shit at a certain time, and this past couple weeks hasn't been that time to do it. So, yeah, I like Westish's comment here. Yeah, it's a requirement to have a DUI or a reckless endangerment, some kind of driving 140 and a 55, something like that to attend Georgia now. It's crazy, but no. Georgia's a very good team, man. A very good coach. They ain't going anywhere. They got to figure it out with their quarterback. Stockton, I thought, looked decent. Just they couldn't finish, and that's a good Notre Dame defense. But anybody else on Texas before we move on? Because honestly, for me, Sam Levitt we'll talk about another season because he's still going back to school. He's still like a redshirt freshman, the quarterback for Arizona State. But mainly,
I like him a lot since he got into play. I was like, he's just got like, some guys just have that kind of like that
moxie,
that feel like they just have a good feel for the game. That's what I like about him a lot. I think he's gonna be a good player.
But yeah, the
really
Texas
good quarterback play out there in Arizona.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you of all the Texas linemen, Banks, Williams, Majors, like who are you kind of like who's impressed you the most this year from what you've seen or like your projection?
I think it's Banks. I think he's just a really good pass protector. Some people think he'll slide into guard. He's only like 6'4". We'll see what his arms measure out at. That does matter to NFL teams. But I like him. I think he's good. I don't think he's great. I don't know, man. I really like Jake Majors, the center. I feel like he was slept on for a long time. Hayden Connor was a guy I was late on one of the guards. DJ Campbell's the other. But Hayden Connor is a guy. I watched him, and I think I clipped that up at somewhere on the Bengals and Brews Twitter page from who knows how long. I tweet a lot on that page. But Hayden Connor is a guy I like too at guard. I mean, I got to go Banks. I think is the best prospect. I think Cam Williams might have the biggest upside. Maybe he should go back to Texas for one more year just because this is his first year as a starter. I think that would benefit him. I think it's very important for O-linemen to the more reps they can have. Now, sometimes you're just a complete freak show like Amarius Mims. And
there you go.
You might only have 800 snaps your entire college career and go to the NFL and still be a fucking dog.
Right.
But that's not everybody. And I don't know that Cam Williams is that. I would like to see him go back to school another year. But that's just a very good line. And I'll be excited to watch that line versus the Ohio State University as we transition to the next game. Dustin, where did you go to school at, man? Where'd you go to school
at? The Ohio State University. I mean, somebody
I didn't see that coming. I ain't gonna lie. Chop, I was on here. I was like, I don't know who to pick, but you said I'm going with my boys, Derek and Dale. You can't pick against me now, so I got to give Chop credit because I was up in the air on who I was going to pick while on the show, and I went with the Buckeyes to go 4 for 4. Only Chop talked me into it. I thought that game was going to be last possession wins. Buckeyes beat the dog shit out of them.
They fucking dog walked them bitches.
As Darius Butler says, belt to ass. All right, Dustin.
They were like that fucking guy on that commercial that shows up with the duck to their show. You know what I'm saying? That commercial where the guy shows up with the fucking duck to cook at the Oregon tailgate. That was Ohio State.
Bro, I was watching YouTube. Like, I was rewatching that shit. They played that commercial about the guy who showed up and said, charred duck. And they're like, you need to know the mask. That commercial played like nonstop. And I'm like, holy shit, man. Yeah. Would this stop playing? Like, I know I've had quite a bit of run, but holy shit, it just keeps playing. I can't even. This is a crazy advertisement to be playing right
There's
now.
Fucking players for Oregon that are waking up with night terrors with that fucking commercial right now.
Hey, shout out to Dusty's sister. She'll be graduating this spring from the Ohio State University.
Hell yeah.
Awesome.
I went to Shawnee State. So when you say, did you even go to OSU? No, I didn't have that kind of fucking money. I wasn't smart enough to get a scholarship. I wasn't that athletic to get a scholarship to Ohio State. Fuck no,
I went to Galen.
I went to Shawnee State. We don't even have a football team.
Bro, we didn't have a football team at nursing college either. I went to Galen School for Nursing. There was no football team.
Yeah,
there were some tight ends, though. I ain't gonna lie.
You went to
there were some tight ends, though.
Of course you did.
What's that about going back to Ohio State now, though? It's like all the grungy like college bars that were on like Lane and High Street there. They're all like gone. It's just like there's like a Dave's Hot Chicken at one of the like where there's a bar.
Pretty good. Let's get some.
Yeah, it's good, but it's like, damn, man. It's like I drive like I was home this fall when I see the Bengals play the Eagles. I went, just toured around campus a little bit. Just like was driving through and I was just like, damn, so much has changed. But yeah, dude, like that's not to go into like a rant here. I think the whole thing with like the lunatic fringe, whatever you want to call it, Curb Street and stuff like that.
Are not all sports fans a little bit have lunatic fringe or whatever? Like, continue. Yeah, I'm just saying it's fucking
fanatic. Fans short for fanatic. But my thing is, it was actually like a culmination of like, I think it's just like more than this year. I think it's more than just like losing to Michigan. It was more about we just never felt, especially this year, that Ohio State played to its potential. And that was very disappointing because we didn't see that this year.
Is that your coach?
And that's just like one of those things where now it's almost like, in a weird way, Ryan Day almost like puts pressure back on himself now because it's like, oh, you're coaching these dudes to play this well. When like kind of since you've taken over, it seems like there's a lot of great players that have rolled through here under your tenure, and you weren't able to like get them to play to their maximum of ability. He's growing as a coach too. I mean, I like him, just like I like Zach. But I just think to see this team come together and play as dominant 34-0 lead over a team that was undefeated. And, I don't like Oregon was one of those teams that they like, I'm not going to take away anything from them. Like, I was just like, it's Oregon always does this. They get like, they had this team that oppresses there in the regular season. And then they get to like, back then, like a big bowl game and just kind of get blown up. So like, I'm not actually that surprised by the result, but what I am surprised by is just like actually how well Ohio State has played in these two games. Like they're just like, I don't think there's a team that could beat them if they play like they're playing now. I just think
you got to show up every game, and Texas has a lot of good players, and that's what I mean. If you have an off day, I mean, we've seen it against Michigan. And see, it's like, did the players have an off day, or was the fucking game playing that bad? And at the end of the day, that's the frustration as Buckeye fans, to kind of go to your point, is like the game plan was dog shit. Like, why are you trying to run up the middle against Kenneth Grant and Mason Graham? What are you doing?
Yeah. That was the whole where it's like you can almost see like the way that Ryan has coached in the playoffs has been so much more like relaxed. Whereas like you could feel like there's just that Michigan. We need to do away with the whole like crossing out of the M, get rid of that shit. It's like it's matter of fact, treat it like another game,
honestly,
like, whatever. Just like we don't, just go in there and play your game. I mean, we should have.
It's crazy to say because we grow up on this shit, man. We grow up on you have to hate them. It's like I don't even hate them. I ain't even got hatred. Y'all won a national title last year. You've been putting belt to ass on us for a few seasons. Great. You got good players. Guess what? I'm a huge draft guy. I love the draft. You got some dogs, man. You got great D-line prospects. Josiah Stewart. I already mentioned Mason Graham, Kenneth Grant. You got dogs. Derek Moore going back to school. He's potential first-round pick the following year. They have dogs. Jason Barham going back another year, and I think moving to edge from linebacker. Dog. Good players, man. They got Jair Hill at corner. They've got who's Will Johnson that didn't even play versus the Buckeyes.
I like their nickel.
He's a top 10 pick.
Yeah.
Talent.
They develop players really well there.
They do.
Michigan, they develop well because I think this year was the first year that they've had like a top 5 recruiting class. Now, Harbaugh was always able to get like top 10 in recruiting, but obviously Bryce Underwood landed.
I was going to say, you get Underwood shit. That just, come on, man. That kid's shit. He's going to be a problem.
Yeah.
Him and Tavion St. Clair matchups, though, could just be fun, They're going to be fun.
I'm really excited for that. Going back to the game, actually, I was kind of going back and looking at some stuff. The philosophy, we didn't really actually blitz Oregon that much. So hats off to our coverage. I think we dedicated more guys.
And the front 4 guys showed up.
Yeah, and the 4 guys showed up. Sawyer was getting pressure. I think JTT had that got his arm on Dylan Gabriel on one of those two. So they were disruptive. Tyreek was, he was great in the run game. He was disrupted. He got some pass rush. So the D line finally, and that was like
Kenyatta Jackson, like guys that we've been waiting to do more. Caden Curry, guys were getting pressure. Every guy that came in there was good. And that's a good Oregon line. Their center is probably arguably the best center for next year's draft. Their 2 tackles are going to be draft picks this year if Connerly comes out.
Didn't they have the best center last year?
Yeah.
JPJ, right?
Yeah, and they got another kid that stepped in for him this year that I ain't going to attempt to pronounce his name on here. Polynesian fella.
Yeah. We need more initial. It's another initial guy that we call.
Yeah, that's going to be another initial guy.
Yes.
He needs a nickname. That motherfucker needs a nickname. Big Nasty.
Right.
Big Polynesian. I don't know. Just fucking get a nickname so I can say that instead.
JTT was from Oregon, wasn't he?
Yeah, he's from like Seattle, Washington area somewhere. Him and Ekbuka both. G. Scott, I think. Like all three of those guys. Yeah. Washington, man. Thank you for coming to Ohio State because you guys have been great. And this guy does not get talked about. Cody Simon, linebacker. He's got to be moved up, man. He's had a great season. Did he or did he not come in and like was initially going to be a safety? Am I wrong on that?
Yeah, they moved in a linebacker.
Yeah,
and then they actually, yeah. So he was safety. Sony Styles actually played safety, and he moved to linebacker too. And he's played pretty well. I think he's gotten better. I think he definitely is he a junior?
He should go back. Yep, he should go back. I've seen he has not been in the draft guide all year because I never thought he's done enough that he should go out.
Yeah,
that's just my opinion.
I think
another year.
I can see him having a Cody Simon type rise. Like they got similar physiques. Like their closing speed's incredible.
Well, he's even better athlete and stuff. But Cody Simon, man, it's what he does upstairs and just the timing of blitzes, knowing when to come, knowing what to do, and he's just such a solid, sure tackler. Cody Simon, man, whew. And he could have had a pick six, the one that hit him in his hands. Like he should have had, and he'd probably say that himself. Like. Cody Simon, man, he's a stock up guy. I still think maybe he's day 3. That's just how it goes. But damn, somebody's just going to get a good football player. And worst case scenario, you get that kid on day 3, you got a special teams demon. Worst case scenario, my opinion.
Yeah, he was huge because they definitely. I think they were like rolling with like a 3 safety look yesterday because they had Hancock out there quite a bit.
Which he's a slot corner, but I know people list him at safety, and he does play a little safety. He does a little, they move those guys around. Dude, you don't hear nothing about Hancock because he don't give up anything.
Yeah,
he's underrated.
He's a best coverage guy. Let's be honest. Like,
give Denzel Burke his flowers. Wrote him off. Igbenogson drives me crazy with the penalties. Hey, thank God we didn't see them the last couple games too much. None yesterday. I can't remember if he had one in Tennessee or not. Probably. I don't think so. But holy shit, Denzel Burke was only target. How do you only target Burke one time after you destroyed him? The coverage was great. The game plan was great. The D line was great. I mean, it all goes hand in hand. We talked about that when we talked to the Eagles.
Someone brought up a good point. There definitely was a lot of coverage sacks yesterday too, because they dedicated more.
He held that ball a long time.
Yeah, he was holding the ball a lot. He was probably a little bit confused by because we switched up our defense so much since the last time that we played them. We're allowing dudes to play more downhill. Whereas I think the first game they were so worried about him running that they were trying to maintain their gaps so much that they weren't getting pass rush. And that's why he was able to pat the ball. But then also, obviously Denzel Burke got roasted. Yeah, so hats off to our secondary. That was probably their best game of the year. The defense has played good. I mean, obviously since that game. So it's just they got dudes Lathan Ransom, my God, he came up and cracked and knocked it.
Dude, they were hitting. They were hitting.
Yeah. They were
you love to see it, man. You love to see them hit like that, tackle like that. The energy but that's the thing. You have to keep that chip on your shoulder. If you don't keep the same chip you've had the last 2 games, you will get your ass beat next Friday because it's an every game thing. You see it. I mean, I'll go back to the Bengals for a second. Coming out flat against New England, we should beat this team. I just feel like some of that shit creeps in. I know game 1 of a regular season and you're in the semifinals of the college football playoffs. You probably got a different mindset. I get that, but at the same point in time, every game fucking matters. You come out flat at all. You come out not firing on all cylinders, you get your ass beat real quick. You can be down 34-0 real quick, Oregon. Yeah. You know what I mean?
That's right.
I love Dan Lanning. I love Oregon. I don't say love. I don't hate Oregon. I have no hatred toward Oregon. I think they're building something awesome there. And in the NIL with Phil Knight, they ain't going nowhere. Great recruiting class, man. They're killing it in the transfer portal. shout out Oregon, like what they're building. They ain't going nowhere. Get familiar with them if you're a college football fan. They're going nowhere. They got a shitty draw. That's got to be fixed by college football. Arizona State should not have had a bye. Boise State should not have had a bye. Those teams don't deserve byes just because I know when you're but Clemson didn't deserve a bye. They didn't get one. They won their conference because you had to pick. None of those 3 teams deserve a bye. You got to just say the 4 best teams get byes. Period.
Right.
This is how we look at the 4 best teams. You guys get byes. Period.
Did you see all the teams that had byes lost?
Mm-hmm.
Wild, huh? I always felt that too about the playoffs. Like the years that the Bengals, we went on our Super Bowl run, we were just like playing really well at the time. It's almost like, let's just keep playing.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that's what I'm saying. I know we're talking draft, but like Kansas City's players aren't going to play for 27 days. They're starters.
Yeah, I was thinking about Kansas City as this shit was after the Buckeyes win and stuff, and it was a big topic of conversation. And now, Georgia also lost, who had a bye, and it's like, damn, Kansas City, you really want to rest your starters? I know we're very selfish.
Yeah, please don't rest your starters.
Dude, that's a whole month.
I know.
That's damn near a month of them.
Right. Like people are going to come back not in game speed. You know what I mean?
I kind of wonder if Andy is watching some of this results. Like, I mean, college and NFL obviously different.
Yeah, but we know the NFL, man. The fix will be in. Taylor Swift, they want her. They want to have the camera on her.
They don't want to piss off the Swift
team. Pat Mahomes looked like shit all season, but they're going to want Pat Mahomes. No, he's the great. Go. Even though he sounds like fucking Kermit the Frog. If I could do a Kermit the Frog impersonation right now, I would like that.
He also sounds like what's the guy that Eastbound and Down? The fuck's
not Kenny Powers though, right?
Kenny Powers, yeah, he sounds like fucking Kenny Powers. You see that video, that show where he was on the one of the talk shows, and then he was explaining a play, and they just go into Kenny Powers, and like if you shut your eyes, you couldn't even tell the difference.
Yeah,
their offense has showed some life over the last couple of weeks, so we'll see. But it's like, you guys are building momentum on your offense, and you're going to turn around and not play.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. I hope that if we don't get, it's fun. We got to beat the Steelers first off. Steelers need a win badly, regardless of their seeding. They just need a win for momentum.
Well, I know we're getting off track here to college ball, but why would it benefit the Steelers to win or lose? You know what I'm saying? Like they
play the Texans. They could play the Texans or the Ravens.
Oh, well, they'd probably rather play the Texans.
Yeah, so they're going to want to win to play the Texans the way both of those teams currently are. But I don't even think it's that. Honestly, I don't. I think it's literally the fact that they have lost, 3-4 games in a row. They have to find some momentum knowing they're going to be in the playoffs, regardless if it's the Texans or the Ravens. The Steelers are going all out to just try to get their shit straightened out because they looked very, very good, right? They got out to great record. And we were all like a little skeptical. And they kind of proven to us that we were right to be skeptical, especially the quarterback play, the things like that. And that secondary still kind of had some struggles, but they need a win. And they're on their home field. They hate the Bengals. They are going all out to beat us Saturday. Yeah. That's all that matters as a Bengals fan. Back to college football. I think we'd be remiss not to talk about Jack Sawyer because I've been up and down on this kid. His pass rush win rate is like 30 something on true pass sets. It's crazy. And as a Buckeye fan, I watch this guy. I've gone back. I've watched the cut up stuff. I've cut up a clip on him in a game, and you see some flashes, but I don't see enough consistency that I'm like, holy shit, how is he winning at that rate? But sometimes I don't know. PFF is not a be-all, end-all. We always say that, but But then you go watch him in a game. You watch him the last 2 games in the playoffs, and you go, holy shit, that's a first-round pick the way he's played the last 2 games. But as a Buckeye fan, I've watched him for 4 years, and the inconsistency drives me crazy with him.
Mm-hmm.
And I just don't know where to put him. But tip of the cap for what he's done in the last 2 games. He's been absolutely dominant. If they want to keep winning, he's going to have to continue it. Him and JTT both. But I think I think Sawyer's been even more like what he does, just getting his hands up, the timing of that. He's been so close to so many interceptions. I mean, he got the one in the Michigan game, but that was kind of drop back in coverage type thing. But just getting his hands on the balls at the line and the pressure he gets and the effort he plays with and the energy and the, you know, you can tell he's a team leader, fiery guy that you would want on your team. I don't know where to put him. Like somebody's like, I think it was Johnny Bengal or whatever on Twitter that was like, Jack Sawyer, this is a guy to watch for in the Bengals first round pick. And no knock on him. And I said this, I was like, I don't want Jack Sawyer at like pick 16 for the Bengals where they're picking right now. Second round, yeah, I'd take him in the second round probably if I was the Bengals.
Yeah.
But would I take him in the first? Like, man, I don't know. Like it sucks because I can see the talent when I don't know, for whatever reason. But Dustin, you are a Buckeye fan too. How do we feel about Jack Sawyer, and how would you feel about taking him at like pick 16?
No, first round maybe not. Second round, like late second, I'd be fine there.
Yeah, it's pretty much middle of the second if we're picking in the same area. So
yeah, I mean,
I could live with that.
The attributes are there. You know, he's got the speed, he's got the strength, he's got a pretty good get off. The last couple games he's been good at like engaging with the tackle and then kind of like using a little bit of engaging with the blocker and then getting off of it a lot better. I feel like him and JTT like throughout the year, it was kind of just like they were putting both their arms on him and not doing any kind of like moves or anything like that. So I like the fact that he's been able to like disengage from the blockers a little bit better. And I think that's benefited him a lot. You also kind of see like we just played the Broncos. Jonathan Cooper goes to the NFL, and he's
seventh round pick
person for the Falcons. You know, he's like making plays, so it's like I could see both these guys like having these kind of college careers where you're like, you know, I guess disappointed.
Like man, they're five-star recruits for a reason though. When they're the talent, the size, the speed, the athleticism, all the things, you know.
Yeah,
you see the flashes.
Yeah, the tools are there. Like they flash, the tools are there. It's being consistent, it's putting it together. I don't know. Like these are tough. These are always tough because it's like when players turn it on, it's like where is that mentality for? And you go in the NFL, man, these are 17 games seasons. Yeah. Like you got to bring it like every week. It's like it's not like pick and choose. I mean, you're not going to have like a stellar game all the time, you know, like Trey had a couple games where he hasn't had sacks and stuff like that.
It happens. NFL, you're playing better players. You're every week.
They're all good.
Yeah, they're all good.
Elite. So, would you take him over Michael? This is this is Westish. Westish would take him over Michael Williams. I think Michael Williams still has some flashes, but shit, we're talking about the inconsistencies of Jack Sawyer. Michael Williams, holy shit, I haven't seen enough out of him. He's one that I'm having a tough time keeping as a first-round guy, which everyone else has him as a clear first-round guy.
Yeah.
Who would you take? That's a good question.
At the current, what I'm seeing now, I'd take Sawyer.
Yeah, that's what's crazy, right?
I'll go off of recency bias.
Oh, 100%, and homer bias a little bit. And I try not to do that. Like, if Crypt Keeper was in here, he'd be like, oh, yeah, listen at you fucking Buckeye homer. You're right, I am. Did you watch that game, Crypt? Gosh, damn, I was like, my dick was like this all night long. I was up till like 6 this morning, just boing, hard as a rock, baby.
I'm gonna go to my fridge, pull out a carton of milk, put it on camera, and you know who we're gonna see? Jordan Birch, because that dude was disappeared yesterday.
I was never high on him until this year, and it wasn't just the sack numbers and the pressure rate was good and stuff. But there was the one game that I clipped up that's out there, which Chop, I sent that to you during the game yesterday. And I was like, man, to be 6'6", 290, he moves so well. The Buckeyes had a great plan, like straight up as far as – but the guys just showed up and blocked. Shout out Justin Fry. The O-line coach is always scrutinized. And, you know, he's had to make fucking what is that expression? Chicken salad out of chicken shit?
Chicken shit, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's 2 games in a row because Pierce didn't do much either last game as well. So they were matched up on our probably weakest offensive lineman or right tackle. So
yeah. Prior, I mean, throughout the overall, and like Donovan Jackson, geez, we hadn't even mentioned him.
I was going to say
for the Bengals and for the Buckeyes, holy shit, man! And his PFF grade. So if you're a PFF guy and you see his grades, you're going to go, "Oh well, damn, this isn't. Why would you take this guy in the second round? He moved to left tackle, motherfuckers. He's a left guard, but he's moved to left tackle, and he has gotten better every single week. He hadn't played tackle since he was in high school, and he's been at Ohio State for 4 years. Like Donovan Jackson, man."
I was going to ask you
if somebody took him in the first round, would not be surprised.
I was going to ask you how much of any player that's been in the playoffs, like, would you say his draft stock has shot up the most? Because he's showing versatility, like going out to left end or left tackle, excuse me.
Yeah, because if you can have that versatility, you're going to be more valuable. Yeah. Always. Because we see the injuries, right? We've seen them as Bengals fans. But he's and he's got the size for it too. So I'm not saying, hey, this guy could stick at tackle, but there'll be teams that'll think about it from what he's done right now if it continues to 2 more games, because he was dominant against a very good and Ukulele or whatever his fucking name is.
Ukulele.
That motherfucker's going to be a first-round pick next year, and Birch is probably a day 2 guy still. And they're both like 6'6", fucking 290 or something. Insane. That D line is stacked, and he gave up 0 pressures, not just 0 sacks, 0 pressures at left tackle after moving from guard. Holy hell, Donovan Jackson! I still would draft him to be a guard here. Obviously, with the Bengals, we got Orlando Brown, but to know like Orlando Brown went out, we had to put Cody Ford at left tackle. Would that not be perfect to have a Donovan Jackson that? In a scenario, we're putting Donovan Jackson at left tackle, that Orlando Brown's out a couple games, instead of Cody Ford? Does that sound better?
Oh, wait, I mean, he could be the Joe Tooney of college, because Tooney slid out to left tackle, and he's absolutely balled for the Chiefs. Isn't that wild?
Yeah, shout out Joe Tooney, man, wanted him bad when he was a free agent.
God damn.
But yeah, the Bengals have not had good luck with Ohio State offensive linemen. That's fair. Billy Price, Michael Jordan, fair enough. Even Isaiah Prince, even though that was just kind of emergency type situation to even be here, let alone starting in the Super Bowl. But I don't have those concerns with Donovan Jackson. I don't. Yeah, Billy Price was almost a little bit of a panic pick after Frank Ragnow went 1 pick before. He would have been the pick.
Yeah.
Michael Jordan was a 4th-round pick. You never know. 4th-round pick could work out well. Could be a Clint Bowling. It could also be, a Michael Jordan. We used we traded up in the 4th round for Ryan fucking Finley. Ryan fucking Finley, guys. When Chauncey Gardner-Johnson and Max Crosby were still on the fucking board.
That's crazy. Yeah, man. What the fuck? I hate going back
Not to bring up that pain. Sorry.
Yeah.
Let me just say though, Ryan Finley is a legend. So let's put some respect on that man's name.
We'll always have that Steelers game.
That's right. Right.
With his with him on the smiling face on the ground.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. Legend.
I mean, I think they're talking to Lou a couple weeks ago about Von Bell, and he said like he felt that hit on Juju like was the culture changer for the Bengals, So but anyways. Yeah. So yeah, Ryan Finley. I wonder what he's up to these days.
I'm sure he's doing great things. I mean, Chop's right, he's a GOAT, but to trade up in the 4th round,
getting laid. That's what he's up to.
Max Crosby. But me personally, I wanted Chauncey Gardner-Johnson. Like, I ain't going to sit here in hindsight and lie, but shit, that would have been better as well, to be fair.
Yeah. Yeah, those are just like, we'll have these drafts like this year where I'm like, oh, okay, we pulled a couple guys. Like, we've actually done better in the late. You and I talked about this before. It's kind of crazy. We've done better in the later rounds than we have in those middle rounds, like 2 to 4.
Paul Dawson, man, I want to take my L on that one too. We got with the 3rd round comp pick. I go, holy shit, this is a guy. That's a steal. Does anybody remember Paul Dawson? You talk about obscure
I remember
Bengals.
Paul
Holy
Dawson,
shit, that guy did nothing.
Nothing. When he had like long arms, right? If I remember right.
Yeah,
Like he was kind of.
I just thought he was good. I seen some perfect in his game, and I was like, this guy's a dog. Well, he was not. Indeed, he was not a dog. He was dog shit.
What does the survey say? Not a dog.
Not a dog.
Hey, how about Cedric Johnson? Getting some snaps.
If you're going to celebrate your wins, you gotta mention your losses, because come on now, if you're a person who's into the draft, don't act like you're perfect. Don't act. Mm-hmm. But I ain't gonna lie. Sometimes you gotta suck your own dick. So when a guy hits, you gotta say, I was right on that one. But you gotta admit when you were wrong too, because there's a lot of that. NFL teams are right and wrong. You know what I mean? Let's not act like as fans we are smarter. I mean, we might be smarter than some of the people in the Brown family that are making decisions, but in general, most teams, their GMs and stuff, big fucking 30 scouts in their scouting department, they are smarter than us as average fans. I'll give them that. Easy.
Yeah. It's almost like the draft now. There's so much fucking information. Can you just
Cedric Johnson, 6th round pick, 21 years old, 4 years of production, and the SEC at Ole Miss. Holy dog shit! I love that pick.
Yeah, you love that pick. You love that pick a lot. And then the way that Ivy's coming along as the tight end killer, that was a 7th round pick. It's impressive. So tip of the cap to them. He's been impressive for 2 years. I mean, obviously he had the ACL, but he was playing good, so it's cool to see him come back. Who else were you really high on in this draft from the Bengals that I guess like now taking a step back as we're talking college prospects, what's your review of our draft this year? Like where would you kind of like, I guess, how would you assess it up to this point?
Well, I mean, Mims, I was very skeptical on. Like I saw the talent, but it's the injuries. And I mean, to be fair, that has popped up some. I'm not taking a victory lap on that.
Yeah, he's been injured a lot. Like he's not missed a lot of games, but he's
had a lot of different injuries.
Yeah. That's scary going into the future. That's your big pick, right? Yeah.
That's your big pick. And that was a good pick. Ultimately, that was a good pick. A lot of tackles were off the board. That was a good pick. They nailed. To give it a grade after season 1, even with the injuries, it's an A, easily an A for Mims. Great pick. Chris Jenkins, I thought Chris Jenkins was a good pick in the 2nd, but I knew he wasn't a pass rusher. So I was good
2 sacks a couple weeks ago, Dale.
Well, you got to think of the D tackle run that happened in that 2nd round. They had to take a D tackle, and they took 2, which they needed to take 2 after letting Reeder walk. They actually needed to bring in Tart, who's had a good season, but that's another conversation.
Right.
But Chris Jenkins hasn't been bad, and I still think his best football is ahead of him. Now, you see him have some bad games. You see him have some good games, like 2 weeks ago with 2 sacks. And then last game, he's down at the bottom of PFF with a 20-some grade, and he's getting pushed around. And the people studying O-line for the other team are like, yeah, look at this great block by this guy. And it's Chris Jenkins getting pushed back 10 yards. And that's a little concerning because he's known as a fucking stout run defender type guy, and he's getting pushed back. So I'm still okay with that pick. I say the jury's still out on that one. You can never judge a shit till at least 3 years, to be fair.
Yeah.
Jermaine Burton didn't like the pick. The character concerns were real. I had him as a 4th round guy. He went in the 3rd. Anybody that was at the Midwest barbecue draft event, I think it was Houday Joe, looked at me. He's like, and I was like, no, I don't like that. That was the first pick that we took that I didn't like. That I wasn't like, okay, I'm good with that. Talent-wise,
for me.
Tons of talent. Just don't know where the kid's head is. I think he's very talented. I thought we were going to go Jalen McMillan, who we had in for a visit, and he has played great for the Buccaneers. And he's more of a slot receiver. Now, Yoshi's been okay in the slot, but I still think Jalen McMillan would have been more, a real threat in the slot with T and Chase.
Yeah.
So that's my thought on the first 3 picks. McKinley Jackson to finish out day 1 and 2. McKinley Jackson I had as a 4th round guy. We took him at the end of the 3rd. I thought, okay, that's fine because it's a comp pick. You know, that's about this. It's the same value. That's a 4th round pick. He's flashed more than I thought he would. I'll admit that.
Yeah. I like his get off. He's shown some spring. I mean, he's probably like honestly outperformed Jake. The good thing, I guess, as you go through the rest of our picks, like I guess with this season, like a lot of these guys have gotten playing time more than we probably thought they would have due to injury. And we're playing in like playoff environment type games now. So I'm pretty excited that these guys have been able to get a lot of snaps and like games that are big too here at the end of the year. And they're going to get, you know, good experiences playing in the AFC North. So stoked to see how those guys kind of like come out next year. And, you know, you kind of see like, to your point, you can't judge for 3 to 4 years. Like Osai is showing some spark, you know, it's like, it's just, we do got to give player, and I got to be better at this, but like giving players chances to develop. But like, yeah, the assessment of this year, I've been kind of disappointed. Jenkins hasn't flashed enough for me, but then I'm also on the flip side, have been really excited what I've seen from McKinley Jackson as well.
Yeah, I think that's fair. And so I'll continue down the list. I mean, we all agree, Mims, it's a good, solid pick, right? Just need to see him stay on the field.
Yeah.
We're on agreement with that. Jenkins, we hope that he progresses and gets better, but maybe I don't hate the pick yet. That's one save judgment for later. Burton, the talent's still there. But I don't know. He
has given us a little life in the kick game.
Yes, been very good as a kicker.
I think that Burton's going to be a weapon next year. I really do. I kind of felt like it this year. I lost money, you know, with the anytime touchdown every game, but I do feel like this offseason he's going to get his head on right. Although Yoshi had some good flashes at wide receiver 3, and I also feel like we're keeping T now, so that kind of puts Burton on the bubble. He's going to have to get better.
Yeah.
If T
he's just going to be a kick returner, or
T leaving was his ticket into more play time on the offense. But if T stays, and I do feel like T's staying now, he's going to be fighting for a spot with Yoshi.
Yeah, and then the move. So 4th round was Eric Hall, and I had a 5th round grade on him, but I said this kid's a 2nd, 3rd round talent at tight end. Like talent-wise, it's not a question. He can block, he can catch, he can do it all. And we saw that, and then he gets injured, which is exactly why I had him in the 5th round. Like, not to take a victory lap, because I hate that. No. I hate that for the kid. I hate what he's going through. He had back surgery. He had an ACL, and now he's got the same ACL. So it's like, I feel bad for that kid, like straight up. I mean, he literally survived a fire as a baby. If you guys hadn't heard that story.
I did not hear that story.
Yeah, a firefighter literally saved his life in a burning building as a baby.
Dang.
Yeah.
And he's from Cincinnati. Fairfield.
Local. So you got to root for the kid, and he's gone through it. And I hope he recovers. And he came back quick off that ACL. We thought he's going to be a pup guy, and he's out there week 1.
Yeah, so, you're right.
I'm still hoping he can do that again. It's just, man, that's got to be mentally draining too.
They need to get the Steve Austin shit and fix him with that, the bionic part.
Yeah, give him
that way they don't break again.
Or
we need to build him back better.
Or the Dare Antler. What Ray Lewis take before the Super Bowl to not be injured?
Deer Antler.
Yeah, whatever the fuck.
Whatever it takes, man.
Yeah.
And then Josh Newton in the 5th. I mean, he was a guy who some thought could be a 1st, 2nd round pick the year before. He didn't have a good season last year at TCU. I had him a fifth round grade on him, right where he went in the 5th round. And that's one of those, like, you're willing to take a chance on the talent. And we've seen flashes of the talent from Josh Newton, but you've also seen the bad of Josh Newton, you know, the getting burnt, the getting beat, the ball skills aren't as good as you would like them to be. But I like him. And who was that we had on Chop at one point? The coach, the older guy, Coach Duff.
Oh, yeah.
You got to play us.
Play us.
He was very high on Josh Newton as a guy who he liked throughout training camp when he came on the show. And that matters, right? That tells you the Bengals were high on him. They were also high on Dejon Anthony. And that guy also, when you speak of getting a milk carton out, where the fuck is he? We haven't seen enough of him when they trust him enough to be in against Kansas City, and what was still not a penalty, by the way, to be fair.
Right.
And then after Newton, who was the next pick? Because I was just rattling these off the top.
Was it Taylor McLaughlin?
We had 2 6th-round picks. Yeah, I think Cedric was first, right?
I think Cedric was. He might have actually. Let me see.
Yeah, I don't know which one came first, but you guys are right. It's Cedric Johnson and Tanner McLaughlin, and we've seen basically nothing from Tanner McLaughlin, and he's a 25-year-old rookie. I like what I've seen of him.
Is he on the practice squad?
No, he's on our 53-man roster. He's
what
just
number is that
inactive.
guy? I've never seen him.
Couldn't tell you. I haven't seen
Tanner was actually pick 194, and then Cedric was pick 214. Interesting.
My boy Cedric, such a steal. Such a steal.
Yeah.
And there's weeks that Cedric's been inactive, but he just flashes. You know, there's flashes of something. He could work his way into being a starter. That's what I put in the draft guide. Wouldn't surprise me if this guy ends up being a starter 2 or 3 years from now. It's what I put in the draft guide. I could still see that. But even if he is only a rotational defensive end, they're very important. You need rotational DNs. You need rotational defensive tackles. It's one of the most rotated positions, most rotated position in the entire NFL, period. So you need a bunch of those guys. So I think Cedric Johnson will, at minimum, be a good DN4, DN3, whatever you want to call him. So love that pick, by the way. Love it. Loved it then. Love it now. What his career will be.
That was your favorite pick of the draft, wasn't it?
That was my biggest steal. Yeah. My favorite pick / biggest steal was him. And then McLaughlin, how can we have no idea, right? What can we say about him?
Well, I mean, they brought in that other tight end was Gandy that they're playing on top of him, right?
Yeah, Cam Grandy, who was an undrafted free agent who they have way more faith in.
He's graded out pretty good as a blocker, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and they threw to him right off the bat in that game.
They did.
It was 6-7 yard gain. Right.
They do, dude. They've ran that same play to Drew Sample. They love running that play first to get get the juices going, and then it's the least expecting person you're going to throw it to, and just get Burrow in a quick throw in a rhythm. I bet they run it again, in the next. They might run it against the Steelers. So, yeah.
Yeah. So, you guys want to go a few more minutes? So. Did we have another pick? Well, I got the other show at 9. NFL Draft Fanatic. Be on there. I think I tweeted it.
I'll go 5 more minutes. If that's cool.
Yeah, sounds good.
Yeah.
Did we have another pick? Am I missing somebody?
Matt Lee.
Oh, how much?
Shit. Yeah, now, Matt Lee.
Speaking of misses, didn't even have him in the draft guide. That's on me. I thought he was undersized. I was like, I don't know about this guy. I knew his PFF grades, and this is why I'm trusting PFF a little more this year. If a guy is graded out phenomenally, I'm like, I got to at least have them in the guide.
Yeah.
Period. That's on me if I don't. And I know it was a lot of Joe Goodberry, I'm sure. I mean, Parker, Jared. I mean, a lot of the people love that pick that are Bengals fans that, are draft guys as well and stuff. And me, I was like, it's fine. It's 7th round, whatever. Because I was wanting us to take an interior lineman in the 3rd round, beyond that. But, we get him at center, and there is something there. I wish we could have seen him play some guard this year because Ted is extended another year, and I think Ted's going to stick at center. I still want to see this kid at guard. But that's a good pick. I'm sorry. Just what we've seen from preseason and him he comes in as the extra freaking tackle.
Right.
So good pick. That's my fault for not having him in the draft guide last year. I'll eat that fucking shit sandwich on that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was Joe Goodberry's steal of the draft, pick of his favorite pick or whatever.
Yeah, a lot of guys liked him. It was just the size is always those projections when sometimes you get caught in the size, it's
I did. That's 100% what happened to me. Yeah. I watched him and I was like, I like what he's doing, but I'm like, he's small. That ain't going to fucking translate.
And that's what I was saying to Dale too, Dustin, is there's so many knocks on size in the NFL. And it seems like anybody that's towards the top of the draft that we're always well, they're a little bit small for their position. They go and they fucking ball out.
Well, out Nick Benito, for Denver at edge.
Johnny Newton.
They're almost okay, you're a linebacker size, but you're an edge rusher.
Who was
and those guys are playing good.
Who was the tackle last year that went to Tampa Bay? that he was undersized too. He was from
Bart?
Pitt,
Well,
right?
he ended up being, he was from Duke, right? You're talking about the kid from Duke that
no,
kicked
from
in?
Pitt. I think he was from Pitt.
Yancey.
He went to Tampa Bay.
Yancey.
Yeah.
Yancey.
Oh,
yeah,
D
and he
tackle.
was small,
Okay.
right?
I was thinking of
Aaron Donald, Geno
Martin on the
Atkins.
O-line.
I just get a little. Look at fucking Ivan Pace out there in fucking Minnesota.
Yeah.
What was
I had a
knock on him?
3rd round grade
Slide.
on him. Yeah.
Man, he was. I'm telling you, him and Keaton Mitchell. Jesus Christ, I wanted those two with my free agent picks.
And undersized Keaton Mitchell. Undersized was the thing too. Remember?
Huh?
Undersized for him, and that he's been injured. To be fair, but the times he has played for the Ravens and stuff, you've seen him ball out, like especially last year.
Yeah.
My guy this year, and I'll stick to the D line there. We were talking Geno Atkins and those guys. Is Aeneas Peebles from Virginia Tech.
Yeah,
he was like one of the first guys I clipped up, and I continued to retweet that one and put that one back out there, and I probably will again, honestly, tonight, just since I'm thinking about him. I fucking love his tape. I fucking love it. Like, I need more of his tape, to be fair. Need more of it, because you only get what, I pay for a thing to get tape, but it's kind of what I can get from that person, which I appreciate, because all 22 it's fun to do. But holy shit, that's my guy. Like, I think I got him in the 2nd round, and most people have him at like his overall, like on consensus big boards, is like in the like 150 or lower. It's like some of them I will die on a hill with how I feel about certain prospects, and that's one of them. Because I told Dustin this. Quarterbacks are tough for me because I want to rank them by how I feel. I want to put a grade on them by how I feel, but it's also like, if I think this guy's a 4th round pick, I know teams are going to overdraft them. So in the draft guide, I try to put them, I almost give them a bump of a round. Like Bo Nix, I honestly thought was like a 4th round guy. I put him in the 3rd. He goes at 12. Like, I knew he was going to probably go in the 1st round. So it's like, you got to eat that shit sandwich when he plays bad. But it's also like, or when he plays good, you got to eat that shit sandwich. But when he plays bad, I'm sitting there like, I just didn't see him as like this game changer guy. He's got to go to the right situation. Check down merchant, as I call him.
Yeah.
Sorry, I went on a rant there.
The guy Jackson Dart's playing right now. He's threw a couple of nice seeds, couple layer throws.
Matt Corral, and that Ole Miss offense is what is keeping people from fully buying in the scouting community on him.
Yeah.
I like him too.
He's a Utah boy, so I want to see him.
Well, of course,
prosper.
You like Utah more than you like Ohio.
Oh,
you must love it there. You and Parker Blake hang out every weekend.
Actually, he lives a couple. I live in Salt Lake. He lives like an hour. He lives like an hour from me, I think. So we haven't been able to link up. But I'm like horrible. I have another homie from Ohio that lives out here, and he's a huge Bengals fan. But we never watch the games together. I'm just like, I'd rather watch them alone. That's how I am. It's weird like that because I'm just like,
you're in a zone. You're in a zone.
Also, like, I like setting up like I'll set my computer up so I can like watch other games too at the same time and shit like that because I got the Sunday ticket and see what's going on in the NFL. And then I usually try to get back for like 2 or 3 games a year. So I went out to the Chargers game. That was fun.
Yeah, you didn't even link up with your your employee because you're the CEO.
Right.
You didn't even link up with your employee.
Oh, who's that? Who's there?
Was I not there? Was I not at that one? I can't even remember.
He's talking about the Chargers game. That was in
it was in LA.
Oh fuck yeah!
You were not there. I was not. That's farther than 2 hours.
That stadium's crazy.
But you were in for the Eagles game.
I was with my mom. I wanted to link up, but I was with my mom and like I don't know, kind of like
you didn't want to introduce me.
You don't want to bring your mom around us.
Didn't want to introduce us to his mother. I understand. I get it.
We're not at that part of our relationship yet, Dale.
Yeah, it's too soon, right? It's too soon to introduce us to the mother. No, that's fair. That's fair. It's too soon. You don't want to put pressure on the relationship.
And I don't blame you not introducing your mom to me because look at this.
That's true.
More sexy.
Right.
More sexy some bitch.
Yeah, that's right.
This is very accurate.
I had to protect my mom.
Exactly. You're protected.
As you should. As you should. Parents protect you growing up. As you're growing up, you got to protect your parents. I respect that.
I will say
diapers. You have to
it
change
was really
diapers,
cool.
too.
They had the fly-in of the planes for that game, and my mom got like teary-eyed. She had some like health problems this last year, and she's doing like so much better. And I just think she was like, really, she's like, I can't believe I'm here. I mean, she's been to Bengals games before, but it was just like, you know what I mean? So it was cool.
That's awesome, brother.
Look on her face, you know. And then like, yeah, we had good seats. It was good weather. The game didn't turn out that well, but you know, all good. All good. Like, you know,
it was a good game in the first half.
It was. But I just like, dude, I was like watching like our defense that game, even though like we were competing. I was like, the whole time, I hate to say this, but I was like, we're not winning. Like, we can't do anything on defense. They're just pushing us around. So I just knew like it was just.
It was the dam was about to burst open, and it did in the second half.
Yeah, it did in the second half. You know, Burrow played really well. I thought our offensive line, considering Eagles.
Yeah, that great pass rush. Great pass
rush.
I
thought they did okay. Like, you know, like it's like actually Burrow has gotten hit more, probably playing like he got hit a lot against the Broncos. The Browns got to him quite a bit. So I would say over the last month, he's taken more hits than he did earlier in the year. I thought the offense, and we've had some injuries, some guys rotating out, but yeah, we got to get those guard situation figured out, man.
It's facts.
This bad. Yeah.
Well, like man, you guys said, we got Matt Lee. Why not try him at guard and see what
at right guard? At right guard,
yeah,
because
right guard.
Alex Kappa, who Dustin's been on this, he saw the decline last year, and I was kind of like, come on, you know, because I think back to how bad the O-line play was, but the guards are just as bad, if not worse, than what we've ever had. To be fair, it's been awful, and Dustin saw it, especially with Kappa, who I was like, no, he'll be fine. And I was wrong on that one, too. Dustin was right. Dustin Croft. Follow at Dustin Croft on X/Twitter, by the way.
Oh, I wish, damn, it would have been great if, like, quintessentially the Steelers would be like, because I would like to see Tanner McLaughlin get a little run. I'd like to see Matt Lee. But now that we're playing, like, really competitive games.
Right. You have to stick with.
Yeah, you got to stick. You're not going to make, like, changes right now.
No.
So. Yeah, I don't know. It'd be cool to get like a lead or something and just like be able to rotate some guys in.
Yeah, I'm good with beating the dog shit out of the Steelers and being up like by 50 at halftime.
I need it.
Good.
Dude.
Yeah, Chop needs it for $100.
Just to break even on this one.
Yeah,
I mean, not a shocker, but did you see there was a little drama in the locker room with Pickett's interview that came across?
I didn't watch it. I did see that there was something, but I didn't end up watching it. I don't remember what I was doing, but I seen it and I was like, "Oh, I'll watch it later." And
there's always drama related to Pickens.
Yeah, he's a fucking
he's an idiot.
I do think though the whole Russell Wilson, it wears thin on you after a while.
Yeah.
Dude, the way that guy talks and everything, I'm like, is this so fucking weird. Real? Does this guy really talk like that?
He's a phony, man. And I think the longer you're around him, it's like, all right, I can't fuck with this dude.
Yeah,
I mean,
Denver couldn't fuck with him. And look at Denver this year after getting rid of him.
Hey, baby. All right, baby. You did a good job, baby. Come on, baby. All right, baby. Keep it up, baby. Keep your head up, baby.
Let's ride. Let's ride. Last year.
He'll have like his helmet on during the like they'll when they interview the player real quick before the game. Like he keeps his helmet on. Okay, it's just those little things that you're like, God, you're such a weirdo.
He's a fucking tool.
Yeah.
It's weird, man.
Yeah, and then these guys can't fuck with it. They've grown up their whole lives being real. And then they're like, bro, you fake as fuck. I can't with you. Weird. I just can't do it.
Yeah.
I just can't. Every time they show him, like, if he's mic'd up or whatever, and he goes up after the game to shake hands, quarterback, all right, baby. Good job, baby. Keep it up, baby. You're going to be doing good, baby. All right, let's go. Boom. I'm like, what the fuck?
What was the Dave Chappelle skit where he's like was it a white newscaster or weatherman? You guys know what I'm talking about?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
That's Russell Wilson.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Yeah. He did that like Subway commercial maybe 2 years ago or last year where he was like, it was like a TikTok. It was so, I mean, if you want to laugh, just Google that sometime. It was just like the creepiest thing you could ever see, But yeah, I just think like his play.
And he put up 400 against us. That's why I'm still on fire, Lou. I gotta say that real quick because holy shit, we let Russell Wilson put up 400 fucking yards against us the first game.
I have a feeling we're just gonna stomp them in the teeth. I really
hope you're right.
I think we will. I think we're gonna get some pressure on him. We're gonna I think Trey's gonna go off. He wants the sack lead. I have a really good feeling that we're just gonna ball out on the Steelers.
How many sacks is Trey ahead right now?
I think he's tied.
Marshall, baby.
He's tied?
Yeah, he's tied with Garrett.
Garrett. Yeah.
Oh, man.
Is it 14?
14.
Yeah,
but I think
piece.
It'll be interesting.
He the long way for the podcast listeners, Russell Wilson.
Yes, he does.
Russell Wilson. But yeah, what are the Steelers going to do moving forward? You're just is this a redshirt year? You're going to run out with Justin Fields?
That's exactly what I said, Dustin.
Are they going to extend Russell Wilson? Are they going to give him money? How can you do that? I have no idea what they're going to do.
They should have been playing Justin. I guess it worked for him. Mike Tomlin figured it out, and they're going to the playoffs or whatever. But you have no idea what you have in Justin Fields, and they're
going to have to win in the playoffs.
Year.
It doesn't matter if they beat us or not. Those fans are going to be. They were pissed at Mike Tomlin last year. They're going to be so pissed if they're a one and done in the playoffs. Period. It's going to get ugly.
Their feedback is they think he cowards up in big games. He gets fearful, which is kind of funny. Now that I look at it, he does feel like he could be a front running coach where he's doing the dancing when they're winning and stuff like that. But when they fall behind, I think that's an accurate assessment of him.
Him and Russell Wilson, probably a good match, honestly.
Yeah,
that's right. Maybe they bang each other's wives. Who knows?
They went to Diddy parties.
They might have went to the Diddy party.
Sierra, Russell Wilson's wife, was an artist, a singer.
Boom! There you go. They probably been to the Diddy party. They probably had baby oil on the skin.
How are we not fucking canceled? Honestly,
I don't.
But I do need to get off here. I got 20 minutes before I'm hopping on that other stream, man. This has been awesome, Chop. I know you're like college football.
I learned a lot.
It broke
down educated.
It broke down into a normal Bengals and Brews at the end, and that's what it's all about, man. It's just about having fun, and obviously Bengals we're passionate about. I'm very passionate about draft prospects and NFL draft, and honestly, man, I don't do this a lot, but Project Game Day Draft Guide is $5, man. Just DM me.
Yeah.
Venmo link is pinned to my Twitter page at Bengals Brews. I have another one, but it's pinned to at Bengals Brews. I say my Twitter page, but I'm the one who runs that page. So if you get mad at Takes, don't get mad at Chop. Don't get mad at Greg. Don't get
you'll notice that when LSU's playing, there's not a fuck ton of tweets about LSU.
If Chop was running it,
playing, if you got it on notification, that's just going to be go put it on vibrate and shove it down your pants. Have a little good time.
These are true. These are facts. But yeah, the draft guide, man, it's like 370 page. I don't even know what it is. It's a lot of page, and maybe you don't like to read that much. I get it, but you can go to certain parts. You can go to here's where he's got this person ranked. You can go to here's where he's got this, and if you literally use it as nothing else but a resource, just a resource for players' names. If you're like, I don't fuck with the draft too much until the Bengals season's over. I will send you this email. I will send you an update every time I update it, or once every few weeks, or once a month. I'm not going to send it every time I update it because I update it constantly. But it's a minimum $5 donation to Project Game Day, which helps veterans and any individuals with special needs go to games. Right. And that's been very special to do throughout this year and be a part of that. So just a donate. And listen, if you don't want the draft guide, that's fine. That's fine. If you're like, I don't even give a shit about the draft. I don't give a shit about a draft guide. Please, $5-10, whatever you can afford to throw Project Game Day's way to help other people. Because, I wasn't at the game last week, but Riley and Tristan.
Oh, my God,
those two Chop, man. Like the pictures I saw and stuff, it's just like, that's what it's about. That's what it's about. Getting them to a Bengals game and seeing their faces and their excitement. And
dude,
that's special, bro. That's special.
T was cool. He had a great time. That little girl, Riley, oh my God, she'll steal your fucking heart. That's not a lie. Joe Burrow meets her, it's over. You know what I'm saying? She's going to steal his heart. Yeah. He'll if he saw that sign, I hope he did, and I hope something's arranged where she gets to meet Joe.
Thanks, Dusty. Yeah. But I mean, I have to throw that out there because Matt, Joe, Chop, Greg, Derek, Santori. Come on, Chop. You're supposed to help me with
Oh,
names.
yeah, Matt,
Jimmy,
Joe, Derek,
Jimmy. Yeah,
Jimmy, Greg, you, me,
I don't do
Jimmy,
nothing.
Matt.
I just do the draft
Joe.
guide. That's why I'm like, that's why I try to pimp the draft guide, because like that's all I do. I don't do
I'll
what
be
these
making a
guys do.
lamp.
I don't do what these guys do. I
Make a
don't. I mean, I'm very honest about that. These guys are the ones putting in the effort. They're the ones going and getting the food each week. They're the ones
Not
getting
me,
the
to be
sponsorships.
clear.
They're the ones doing the cleanup at the tailgates. They're the ones doing everything. And, you know, my small contribution to just be a part of it, and I'm so thankful that they allow me to do that, is literally the draft guide. And it's like, you know, I love the draft. If you don't love the draft, just toss $5 if you got it. You know, and I know not everybody's got money to do that, but that's all I can ask. If you got $5, toss it. Project Game Day, the Venmo, it's all out there. It's pinned to Bengals and Bruce Twitter.
Yeah.
I really do appreciate everybody, and I appreciate everybody tuning in. Dustin, you're amazing with this prospect stuff, and I feel like we got to do this again. I feel like we got to keep doing this.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it after. Man,
the Buckeyes win the national championship, or maybe the next round, or we'll figure something out.
Well, we can do the next. I'm so like where the games are. I gotta look at the schedule to see when the games are, because it's like everything's so like messed up right now.
Buckeyes play next Friday at like 7 or 7:30. I was like, they play on a Friday? I'm like, oh,
Friday?
Then the national championship will be like on a Monday or something, right? It's always weird.
I hate that Friday night games. There's something about like, you know, you get out of the work week. It's like, I don't know, bro. I need like a night. Like Friday nights for like, you know,
I don't have a work week. My schedule just varies, so I don't have a work week. It's all the same to me.
Monday
and you work nights too, Chop.
Yeah, I work nights.
Monday
all right,
night.
guys, I do need to get out of here. I got to check on my dog. Chop, thank you for coming in and being just a beautiful freaking man. Dustin, man, you have stepped up and showed out when it comes to this draft stuff lately, and I want to keep doing this. We joke about the CEO thing because you give us super chats.
Right.
But I fuck with you, man. Like, Chop knows when I fuck with somebody, I fuck with him. I fuck with you, man. You're a good dude. People should follow Dustin Croft. I fuck with you hard.
Yeah, he fucks with you
hard.
All
right, this is getting a little weird. This is getting a little weird.
He's hard and fucking with you.
You didn't even introduce me to your mom, so I can't say I fuck with you that hard.
Well, you were saying like you're pimping out the
happy early birthday, Wesley.
You're pimping out the guide. I was like, you got people doing stuff. I was like, this dude might be a pimp for real.
He is.
What do you
when
what
I
do you
put
down there in Southern Ohio? What you got going on?
When I put on the robe, I'm a different cat. I'm a pimping. I'm pimping hoes nationwide.
You just need a scepter. You need a scepter now.
Hey, screw the Diddy parties. Have you been to a Dale party? That's what I'm saying.
There you go.
You feel me?
The Dale party's like, unless he's rum drunk as hell and the Buckeyes just had a big win, Dale's got a sleep apnea machine on at like 10 p.m.
Dale party. Dale party.
Hey, going to bed early is nice though.
I love it.
It really is.
It's so great.
Yeah.
Right, no, he works all night.
I'm at work.
Fair.
Yeah,
as early as 9:30 in the morning. Yes.
Hey, I do. My mom was a psych nurse too.
Was she really?
Yeah.
In Cincinnati?
No, in Lima, where I'm from.
Okay.
Lima, Ohio. Yeah.
Nice. So. Well, you know what I'm dealing with, though. I'm sure
she knows. She knows, especially. Yeah.
Yeah, see, you guys already have.
That's why he couldn't introduce you to his mother.
That's why you can't introduce me.
He knew there'd be a connection.
Dustin, look, you're safe, though. Look, see? You're safe. You can bring mom around. It's all good.
All good.
Probably not really. She'll have to control.
All right, guys.
If she can control herself, I'll control myself. That's all I got to say.
I appreciate everybody tuning in, man. You